Hey, Ron, thank you so much for that introduction. That was perfect and seamless. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here to learn more about our Agentic AI approach to protect your guys' data. For those that might be new to Trellix or haven't heard of us before, Trellix, we are a merger of McAfee Enterprise and FireEye. And then we began Trellix, really taking the best of both companies, putting it together. My name is Jeff Meacham. I'll be your speaker today. I'm the Global AWS Solutions Architect here at Trellix. A little background about me. I have my master's in cybersecurity with an emphasis on cloud security. And I recently published a book on cyber threat hunting. Now, that book was a passion project of mine. I felt confident stepping into that subject because I've been in the trenches. I've worked in investigations, building curriculum, teaching courses. I took a lot of pride in it. But here's where things got interesting because as much as I know about the manual side of hunting, when I first started working with Trellix Wise, it made me shift my entire mindset about how threat hunting and responding to alerts should work. It's not really about being the expert anymore. It's about letting the platform amplify your guys' expertise. So right here, we have the average alert dashboard for an analyst. Here you can see we have 76 high alerts, 318 mediums, and some lows. Now, unless you guys are operating at some kind of Avengers level kind of response, I can't imagine you have time to respond to all of these. So which do you focus on? I mean, the term high in a lot of cases, that's just one lens. And attackers, they know how to stay below that threshold. So if you're only looking for red flashing lights, you're missing the low and slow, the steady movement, the signals that could lead up to a critical moment. So this is where things like alert prioritization, automation, and AI-driven correlation really come in. It's not the real challenge is not collecting alerts. It's knowing which ones actually matter. So here it is. Here's Trellix Wise. This is our AI-powered SecOps analyst that never takes a break, never misses a pattern, and gets smarter with every alerts. And I'm just going to cover just a few of their capabilities, and I'll send you guys a special invite afterwards. It is purposeful built AI for SecOps. This is not a generic AI. It's been trained specifically for security operations. Agentic data lake investigations. This is where Wise really stands out. It doesn't just ingest alerts, but goes out and investigates them across your entire lake. Contextual understanding of threats. It's not looking at just one alert, it's connecting the dots. And I'll show you an example of that here in just a bit. It can perform auto triage, prioritize alerts throughout your whole entire infrastructure, cloud, endpoint, email, DLP. It learns from your guys' actions. It has automated compliance reporting. So yeah, even as exciting as this is, it handles some of the boring stuff too. It's kind of like our engineers. They came in, they were excited, and they were like, guys, we're going to make Star Trek real. So let's talk about AI and what a lot of our competitors are doing wrong. Some platforms, they duct tape a chatbot onto their tool and they call it AI. But if you guys are spending more time typing prompts and asking it questions than getting answers, that's not AI. That's just a very expensive way to feel heard. Instead, our AI, it'll create a summary of the alert. It gives us remediation recommendations and even performs auto remediation actions if you choose to implement our automation capabilities. So instead of you guys walking up and asking, hey, can you explain this? You get, I already fixed it. So to continue off that, if your AI only looks at the endpoint, is that really telling the full story? Alert triage, it isn't just about detection. It's that context. So most tools only give you what the detection engine knew at that moment. But real investigations, as I'm sure you guys are aware, it doesn't stop there. So here we're zooming in on a network alert that wasn't even generated by the endpoint. It was actually caught by Smart Vision, a suspicious LDAP query. Now, imagine if your tool was only looking at that endpoint. The AI only looked at the endpoint. This alert would have been missed entirely. But when you combine detection through endpoint, network, data, cloud, third-party telemetry, that's where you can tell the full story. And team, really, this is the difference between detection and investigation. So our agentic AI, it's doing more than just giving answers. It's actually using expert guidance to build a solution step by step, like it's assembling a kit. So Trellix Wise, it doesn't just search for information. It's actually been trained by our cybersecurity teams off our real world analyst decisions. It knows the task, it understands the situation, and then it selects the best tools and methods to solve the problem. It's like this image right here. Trellix Wise is the robot with the blueprint and a full toolbox. It's not just guessing. It knows which tool to grab based on the job in front of it. So for example, let's say you got hit with an Intel hit for a domain. What our AI does is it doesn't just flag something, it actually starts asking questions that matter in order to solve the problem. Instead, it will say, hey, what agents could help me with this Intel hit? Who's seen this before? How has this been resolved before? Can anyone tell me more about the threat actor? And what's really nice about it is that it'll reach out to our intelligence community. It'll reach out to your guys' EDR solution, your entire ecosystem of partners, and it'll actually pull those answers automatically. So that way you're getting the best response possible. Most tools, they respond to alerts using rules that were written in advance. Trellix Wise, it's built different. It builds investigations in real time, even for alerts that's never even seen before. So think about those zero-day attacks. It has the capability to respond. In fact, this is the flow right here. There's an alert received. It'll select a pre-built framework. It will run queries automatically, analyze it with full context, check the severity and actions, and start creating cases. Now, this will even bring the receipts. Everything is recorded, so you can always double check its work, make sure it's not prone to hallucinations. I'll tell you how we actually solve that problem here in just a moment. But again, really, the power of Trellix Wise here, it's not just automation, it's its adaptability. It's building and running these investigations dynamically. So like in this example right here, keep in mind this is not just checking a box, it's building the case. It pulls up from the endpoint behavior, the network flow, and the threat intel feed to actually build a full picture. So right here, it's analyzing an alert with a suspicious use of the process cert util, and it's piecing together what really happened. It's leveraging the tools from your environment, such as seeing the weird file behavior from the IVX, the network flow from our network tool, and then it uses the intelligence from our insights agent. And here is where it goes even further than what a human can do. In this case, it saw a base 64 string and it decoded it automatically. Now, most systems, they stop when they see, okay, PowerShell plus base 64 equals alert. But Trellix Wise, it went even further, interprets the content, identifies the metadata, and it understands the event. In this case, it decoded the base 64, it saw it was a script, and it actually reached out to our partner in order to get the full story without us actually having to do anything. And really, this is how you reduce false positives without increasing risk. It's not about ignoring alerts, it's about understanding what they really mean. Now, one of the biggest strengths is that Trellix Wise, it learns from you. Every time a case is closed, the decision, the reasoning behind it, it'll feed into the AI itself. And so when the same pattern shows up again, it can factor that into the history and make a decision quicker. And even then, it doesn't mean it'll ignore alerts. It'll still make comments like, hey, this is likely a false positive. That way, nothing in your environment is missed. In fact, here is a great example. One of our customers, they were getting false positives because they had users logging in from really odd locations. However, that was actually normal in their company. So they fine-tuned the AI by saying, hey, this is actually expected. And then you can see that the number of alerts immediately dropped once that was presented. All right, I would say this is probably one of the most important slides I have in my slide deck. So although the AI learns off your guys' actions and baselines, that does not get reported back to Trellix. we already trained the AI. We don't need your data to train it any further. So while it will learn off your specific environment and your baselines, that data, everything it learns, is kept there. The reason being is we don't want to make it prone to hallucinations or touch your stuff. And that's really what sets us apart. I mean, some of our competitors, a lot of our competitors, even post on their website that they do take your data to train their AI. I don't know why they need to do that. I don't know what's wrong with their AI that they feel like they have to take your data to do it. But at that point, could you really trust the AI or them with your data? And again, this is where Trellix Wise, it sets itself apart. It doesn't just investigate threats. It learns from how you investigate them. It says, okay, what did I do last time? I remember these agents helped me making it a quicker investigation. How were similar alerts closed? Guys, this is agentic AI in action. It doesn't just ask, okay, what's going on? It asks, all right, what do I need to do next? And then it does it. And this right here is a great summary. This is a terrific example of how Trellix Wise, powered by Helix Connect, responds intelligently to threats across your entire cloud infrastructure, specifically here with Amazon S3 and Guard Duty. So in this case, Guard Duty, it detected a malicious object in an S3 bucket, which caused it to go to our IBX tool to analyze the file and perform a full behavioral report. And then the AI used its integrations from our partners to see, hey, is there any related activity going on right here? All right, now that I know this, I can go ahead and auto-remediate it. As you can tell, I did have to speak a little quickly just due to the time constraints, but I do want to send out a few invites for you guys. First off, we have a 3-hour dev day coming up. This is going to be really fun. In this dev day, you guys will actually be playing with our tool. You'll be playing with our AI free of cost, and you can even earn 3 CPE credits. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of conversation about AI, some of the threats that we're seeing in other people's environments, and what you can do best to protect yourselves. But it's also a great way to play with the tool itself. Now, for all of our Canadian friends, please feel free to stop by our booth. We have live demos. You'll have a chance to walk away with swag. And of course, there's always the coveted prize of a PlayStation 5. So come on over, win the PlayStation 5. Would love to talk to someone about video games. And then right after that, we actually have a beautiful evening planned on the lake with food and drinks in the Amsterdam Brew House. I hope you guys can make any of those. It looks like I am getting some questions popping up in the chat. I'll be answering them shortly. But for all those that do have questions, please post them in the chat. Ron is great. He's going to be sending you over my slide deck after this event, as well as my email. So if you guys do have questions, if you have questions about registering for any of these events, please send them my way. Would love to see you guys there. Ron, thank you so much. I'm passing it back to you.